There is a dream that many people dream, a dream in which the sleeper takes a journey and at the end of it reaches somewhere. Somewhere that is like his real world and yet unlike. The 1125 diesel from Plymouth to Gunnislake can do this in reality. It takes its passengers to a place that was sad because it failed. But that was 50 years ago. Now, all passion spent, it is beautiful, a place that exists out of time. It has the dreamlike ability to be unpredictable and unlikely. This stretch of river, for instance, was a centre of industrial Britain for 700 years. It exported to the world, it was an entertainment centre, and busy ports lined its banks. The River Tamar really cuts Cornwall from England. In its upper reaches, it's just a pretty river flowing past farms. It's the tidal lower reaches that have the strange, unique atmosphere. It has two assets, and they've shaped its history and made it what it is. The little valleys on its banks make fertile market gardens, and the rocks of the land around it are full of minerals. They found silver here 700 years ago, then came copper and tin mines, and as these were worked out, the mines turned to producing arsenic. Chimneys spouting arsenic fumes caused poisonous smogs that killed the vegetation along the top of the valley. The highway that carried the trade was the Tamar. There were always boats navigating the winding, difficult channels between the mud banks. Then, as the mines closed one by one, the railway reached Calstock in 1908 and finished the river trade. As the riverboats travel on the high tide, they'll pass several places like this, where groups of men pull nets through the water to catch salmon. Fishing must be the oldest occupation on the river. Once it was possible to earn a living at it. Now it's a spare time occupation for postmen, policemen, or anyone who might get time off at high or low tides to haul a net.
Hey! Hey!
Jack Adams is involved with all aspects of the river. His life revolves around its well-being and the safety of the salmon. He has to be a policeman as well to prevent poaching. Most nights he sits up, watching and waiting for poachers, and most days he will call on people who live by the river to see if they've noticed anything wrong. One of his regular calls is on Mr. Gregory, a mining expert who lives like a hermit.
On the beer, were you?
Nope.
Oh, you teetotaler. Joined the band of hope, eh?
Well, I was. And it's my lasting regret, you know, that I broke the pledge.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, could you help me? Have you heard anything? Any
Well,
cars?
only these, this particular one the night before last.
Oh, nothing.
No, but he was late enough, 11:15.
Yeah.
Time when all decent people ought to be in bed.
You couldn't get the number?
No, he was too quick. Got to left the gate open inadvertently.
Oh, really? Never mind.
He'd have to stop on the other gate, of course.
That's right. Oh, yes, he couldn't get through.
Yeah.
But I'll pop in again tomorrow if you do something. How are you getting on with the old...
Well, the rectifier and the transformer inside in the house there, but I must have this in the open because in the generation of when I'm extracting, or rather depositing the copper, the slightest amount of overvoltage, hydrogen overvoltage on the copper will react with the arsenic in the solution and give off this gas called arsenic.
Oh,
and it's extremely poisonous. No, I don't smoke, thank you. Not one of my bad habits. And so it has to be in the open.
Yeah.
This arsenic is one of the most poisonous of all gases, and you can't smell it. And working alone here, I could be overcome, and that's that. I've fallen into the tub or anything.
Ernie Gregory lives on the site of the richest mine on the Tamar. Devon Great Consols was the biggest copper mine in Europe in its heyday. It was a place that really boomed. There were 40 miles of tunnels. There are enormous caverns deep underground. But the mine finally failed, and the trees came back, hiding most of the evidence of its great past. These dumps, where the trees don't grow because they're poisonous, are the refuse from producing arsenic. This mine claimed to produce half the world's supply of arsenic. Ernie Gregory is here because of the dumps. They contain millions of pounds worth of copper and other minerals, and Ernie has the concession to extract them. He also has a lonely battle ahead to get the help he needs. The wealth is certainly in the rubbish. He has to prove it's economic to recover it.
Desolation, melancholy, a sense of wasted effort. Not wasted because somebody made money out of it, but I think of all the people who were working on it. Probably rubber boots were not known. There was no mining regulations to look after them. They had to hike maybe 15 to 20 miles through all weathers, and every piece had to be broken by hand. Well, I can see those. Not only in my own imagination, but I can actually see them at times. Just at the interval of dusk, here, I get afraid. As soon as it's dark, I'm not. But in that interval of dusk, the imagination plays far more, I think, than anything else. And I've got visions of seeing people, the old men walking about. They're not after me, but they don't like to be disturbed. It's so strong that I'm literally scared. Not of wild animals, because there aren't any, or not of the holes, because there are many holes there that you could fall down, but just simply that feeling of somebody watching me and waiting for me to make a mistake. And then they would pounce. What they would do with me, I don't know, but that is the feeling. And I never get it anywhere except on an old mine.
This is how Ernie Gregory gets his beer money. He puts horseshoes or anything else made of iron into the water that drains out of the old mine. It's so full of copper dissolved in it that an exchange happens. The iron is washed away, and the copper stays and settles on the horseshoes in a powdery deposit which he can sell to a foundry.
I've been alone all my life, even though I'm married and got 3 children and a large family. I've always been alone because I've always been different from anybody else. Why, I don't know. It's just one of the ways I'm made. And quite a number of people, in fact, have said to me more than, not that I'm flattering myself, but they've always said, the person of your obvious intelligence, why do you stick it? And my answer to that is because I choose to. And I don't know if there's any other answer. Well, I mean, what have I got? I can't... what else is there? I mean, all my life I've been interested in minerals and mines, particularly old mines. And I've got a beautiful place, beautiful cottage. Enormous potentialities. Well, if I can't make something with it, then I deserve to fail.
And some people might think that that is just as true of Britain as of a hermit on a mine.